So welcome to the replay. Tonight we're going to talk about the 4 holiday eating tips and strategies that you need to know to get through this holiday without changing pant size before January 1st. So that's the question of the day. And put it down in the comments. When you go through the holidays between now and the 1st of January, are your pants a little bit tighter? Will you say yes, no, or maybe? Some years they are. My name is CJ Johnson. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I help people, specifically people who are over 40 years old, look, feel better, and age in a way that they want to age appropriately. My background, I came from the golf business. I had a corporate career inside of golf, but during that time that I was growing that corporate career, I topped the scales out. I was out at well over 250 pounds. When I was 40, that's when I lost and I maintained this 100-pound weight loss. I have been on a quest to help people look and feel better for about the last 6 years now, sharing my knowledge, my experiences, and frankly, sometimes my struggles, because as we get older, things change. It's a little different. But these strategies today are kind of tried and true strategies that I have used through the years to make it from Thanksgiving up until New Year's and not change pant size. So that's what we're going to talk about this evening. Again, make sure you stick around to the end. If you haven't got it, and if you weren't here with us last week was part 1 in this series of Healthy Holidays, where we talked about holiday traveling. If you didn't already get the Hijack the Hollywood, I keep saying Hollywood, holiday, Hijack holiday weight loss. If you didn't get a copy of that, you're going to want to stick around to the end. It's the best resource that I have ever put together that shows you how to get through this time of year, maintaining a fitness routine, minimizing your stress, eating less. There's even a free workout in the back of it. So you could, it's all there, it's all written down. So make sure that you stay to the end. But we're going to go ahead and let's get started with strategy number 1. One of the biggest things is these are the secrets that you're going to be able to get and use without feeling deprived. And I don't know about you, but if I'm feeling like I'm missing out, that's not a good feeling. So we want to make sure that we're not missing out. And there's really 4 strategies that we're going to talk about tonight. And they're how to adjust your goals, how to eat out, because Lord knows most of us are spending a lot more time eating out this time of year. The office, that is one thing I don't miss. Working in an office where there were all those goodies, especially around the holidays. And lastly, something that we don't often talk about, but the stress of the holidays for many of us can bring out a lot of emotional eating as well. So those are going to be our first 4 strategies that we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and let's get into the adjust your goals. When I found this picture, if you look close and if you can see it, it's somebody who's writing a shopping list. Frankly, we spend more time writing shopping lists than we do writing down our goals. When you come to the holidays, write down what you want to do or be or feel like over the holidays, whatever it is to you. If you would like to maintain 3 workouts a week, if you would like to not put on any weight, and if you're on a weight loss program, it's okay at this time of year to not put any weight. But whatever it is, write it down. There's power between pen to paper and what happens in your mind. Science has proven that. Take a little time and write it down, because frankly, most of the time, like I said, we spend more time writing down grocery lists than we spend writing down our goals. So whatever you happen to have your goals for the holidays, go ahead and write it down. Now, the second thing is planning. You probably hear me talk about planning often, very often. And you know what? What's really funny about planning is wow, I got to tell you, that's kind of, you can see my whole computer, and yeah, I got these shots wrong. I told you I'm not the techie. I'm gonna go back to this view right here. So we talk about a little bit of pre-planning. And I harp on that a lot. But so pre-planning goes a long way. One of the simple things that you can do is this. Look at your whole entire week. When are you going to eat out? And when are you going to eat at home? Okay, because we're going to talk about eating out in just a second. But I'm going to talk about making it easy to eat out at home. Because one of the things that too often happens this time of year is when we are at home, we're rushed, it's hectic, life is just really busy. We don't make good choices eating at home. So here is my number one suggestion is healthy pre-made meals. And what I mean by that is, have you heard of, I'm sure you have, you maybe even have them, Blue Apron. Let's see, Hello Fresh. There's a multitude out there. There's even some local ones. Here in Reno, we have they make great food. It's a little tiny cafe. They teach you cooking classes, and you can order meals from them. The food is really good. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, some friends of mine were gifted a HelloFresh box. We were supposed to go out for dinner. They called us and said, CJ, if we go out for dinner, we're not going to have a chance to use this box. We'd really like to use it. How about if you and John come over? We'll all get together and we'll cook and we'll have this meal. First of all, it was so much fun being with our friends and cooking in a relaxed atmosphere. It was way better than going to a restaurant. But this meal was absolutely outstanding. It was very simple to make. The instructions were there. It was a great dinner. And I think that company was HelloFresh. I happened to find a Groupon, and I'm going to put it in the show notes for later, a Groupon for 50% off of one of the food services. I think it's HelloFresh. 50% off, I think it was $30 for the meals for the week. That is so inexpensive. You can have those around your house. It's fresh, high quality ingredients. The only thing that we needed to have to add to this was oil and I think salt and pepper. They were super easy. And Chris, my sister, I know is watching. She doesn't cook. I guarantee you, Chris, that you could cook one of these meals. I'm curious to know, have any of you ever tried HelloFresh? Or any of the other Blue Apron? If you have, give a little thumbs up. Tell me what your favorite one is down below. But taking just that one step, writing down your goals, and now going back and saying, how many times am I going to eat at home, and can I make it convenient so that I can eat healthy food? If you make it convenient for yourself to eat healthy food, I know, and hey, I know at least I am going to make some better choices. And yes, Chris, I really do think that you could cook and make these HelloFresh. And by the way, if you've got any questions, make sure that you put them down below. You can put, if you put a question mark in front of it, that helps me to see it. But that's step number one, is just really simply go ahead and adjust your goals. So let's move into number two. And that's what I want to talk about, is eating out. Eating out can be deadly. I mean, that just can be so rough. So with eating out, what I want you to do is, I would want you to just go ahead and do a little pre-planning. Let the internet be your friend. In this day and age, everybody has their meals, or their menus online. I mean, that's how we do things. We research everything. We look at reviews. We look at Yelp. We research everything. Do a little bit of pre-planning. If you're going to go out and look at the menu before you go, because sometimes some of the things that we think could be very, very healthy end up not being so healthy. And I think hopefully my next slide, whoops, I went one too far. I had prepared for you a slide that showed a grilled chicken oriental salad from Applebee's. Now that sounds pretty healthy, right? Kind of does to me. But if you looked at it just a little bit, and if you looked at online, it's a salad that has 1,290 calories. 1290. 1,300 calories in a salad. I gotta tell you, if I'm gonna eat 1,300 calories in a meal, it is not gonna be on a salad. I am gonna have something truly indulgent. So let your fingers do the walking. Find out where you're going and do some research before you get to where you're going, so that you might change places if you don't like their menus, or you can make some better choices. Now, once you get to where you're going, ask. Talk to your waiter. Find out about what is on the menu. How is that dish prepared? And you want to look for words. There's some pretty simple words to look for. Obviously, I think everybody knows fried. If you're looking for that, that's going to be one of those. Anytime you see the word crunchy, crunchy is not necessarily a good thing because that's synonymous with the word fried. You want to look for things like steamed or grilled or baked. Those are some of the great good words that you want to look for. They give you healthier options. Don't be afraid to ask the waiter if he or she would ask the chef to have your meal prepared differently. Here's another tip. Sometimes we go out for banquets. We don't think we have control over the meal. With the amount of allergies there are today, there's more and more accommodations being made in how our food is served. If you're at a banquet, you're at a banquet. And they're serving beef, you are not getting chicken, okay? Or chances are really good you're not getting chicken. You're getting what they're served. But there are certain accommodations that can be made even in a banquet setting if you either call ahead or if you ask. So don't be afraid to ask somebody how it's prepared. Because here comes that salad that I was showing you. It's got the fried chicken tenders. Again, there's the word fried. The fresh Asian greens, rice, noodles, almonds, and the oriental vinaigrette, 1,290 calories. Now that looks like a pretty healthy meal, doesn't it? Looks pretty healthy to me. But that is a whopping salad. I mean, that's a lot of calories in a salad. So don't be afraid to ask about how something's prepared. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, what about happens if you're eating out and you're going to a friend's house? You've been invited over for dinner and you have no idea what that person is going to be serving. That's where I say bring a dish. Here's something. We usually bring our hostess some type of gift. Out here, I'm in Nevada next to California, it tends to be wine. So we usually bring some type of gift. When I'm invited to someone's house, I say, how about if I bring a dish for dinner? I'd love to help you out and do that. Would that be acceptable to you? Normally they say yes. That's my chance to bring something healthy so that I know I've got something healthy. I ask them what they'd like me to make, if it was a salad or an appetizer, or what type of meal I could make. And I have several things that are very easy to prepare. You'll find a lot of those. I put a lot of the recipes up on my website, which is agewellwithcj.com. So I have a whole recipe section there. So there's some great go-tos, some side dishes, some main dishes, things like that you can bring along with you. They're very simple and easy to make. I didn't cook for a long time. In fact, I didn't start cooking until I started losing weight. That's when I really started focusing on cooking. So everything I cook, I try to make it flavorful, fresh, tasty, but very, very quick and simple to make, because I am no Julia Child by any stretch of the imagination. So bring something healthy along with you. Your hostess will appreciate it, but a little etiquette, make sure that you ask first. Okay, let's move. How about buffets? Oh my gosh. How many times have you seen like what's in this picture right here, right? It's just kind of crazy, isn't it? When you go to a buffet, you've got all these choices, way too much to choose from. Now, I don't know about you, but I go to those places, and this is what used to happen to me. I started on one end, I grabbed a plate, and pretty soon my plate is like that big. It's piled high with way more food than I could ever eat. Unfortunately, I'm one of those kids who is a member of the Clean Plate Club. That's the message that I've taken into adulthood. Whatever I've put on my plate, I have to eat. Now, if I get a plate that's stacked that high, I can't eat it. That's way more food than I can normally eat. When you go to a buffet, if you want to save yourself a bunch of calories, do this. Look at everything on the buffet before you grab the plate. Go through everything. That way you can decide there might be 3 kinds of beef. Oh, do you really want to try all 3, or would one type be exactly what you need? Those are the choices you make and get to make when you look at everything before you grab the plate versus after you grab the plate. So and that's not just holidays. That holds true for anything that for any time you are at a buffet. That will save you lots on calories. Next one, appetizers. If you are eating out, you are going to a party. I don't care if this is eating out with friends or going to a party, skip the appetizers. If you look at this plate, and it's very appetizing looking, isn't it? You got a lot of different cheese, you've got nuts, you've got dried fruits, you've got breads, you've got jellies, you've got some cured meats. Those are all, for most of us, those are all pretty tasty food. You're probably looking at that and saying, CJ, why would I want to skip the appetizers? Well, you want to skip the appetizers because of the calories inside of the appetizers. Think of this. If you like cheese, give me a little thumbs up if you're still around. Give me some cheese. Little thumbs up. If you like cheese, 4 dice, the size of dice, cheddar cheese, 4 little cubes of cheese are 110 calories. That's kind of crazy when you think about the calories that are in the cheese. And then you add some meat and some dried fruit. Dried fruit is very high in calories. Take dried cranberries, and now you kind of see those on cheese trays. Take dried cranberries. A 1/4 cup of dried cranberries. Very, very small. 1/4 cup of dried cranberries. That's about 120 calories. It's full of sugar. Chances are it's going to start a bit of a sugar craving with you as well. So watch the appetizers. In fact, really, if you're going to have a couple, have just a couple pieces. But really, a great rule of thumb is just go ahead and skip the appetizers. Another one with eating out is, how many calories are you drinking? I mean, if you're drinking one bottle of beer, non-light beer, it's 153 calories. That's what you can pretty much think of in any drink that you have. A glass of wine at 120-ish calories, spirits about 100 calories, and that's just straight spirits. That's not putting in any soda. So watch what you're drinking when you're out for the holidays. If you are drinking alcohol, a great way to cut some of the calories is have a glass of wine, then have a club soda of some kind, or a glass of water. Drink something in between the alcoholic drinks. That way you still get a chance, because remember I said we didn't want to be deprived when we did this. So when we do this, you don't want to be deprived, so enjoy the alcohol, but have that little glass of water in between. Now the other thing you need to drink, and I know that I don't drink alcohol, but I love coffee. Anybody a Starbucks junkie? Yeah. I love Starbucks, and I enjoy this time of year because I enjoy some of the holiday drinks. Boy, I'll tell you, you are not getting off easy at Starbucks. Now, thankfully, I do not. Now, these calories are for grande, non-fat, no whip. So I've already taken away some of the things that we may consider to be fattening. Grande, non-fat, no whip. An eggnog latte is 450 calories, and that's 57 grams of carbohydrates. So that is the sugar that's the sugar that's inside of that. 450 calories. Wow. Even if you take it to a skinny mocha, that's 160 calories. That's a lot of calories. So to have one once in a while, that's enough. nice treat. I enjoy meeting somebody for Starbucks, especially late in the day. We have a fireplace at the Starbucks here in Incline. It's a wonderful place to sit back, relax, chat, catch up with friends, because really, isn't that what the holiday season is all about? I save up some of my calories and I have one or two of those. But if you start drinking those every single day or even 4 times a week, add 4 of those eggnog lattes to your eating routine, and you're going to put on 2 to 3 pounds just from those eggnog lattes before they're off of Starbucks menu in January. So watch the things that you're drinking, be it alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages. Next, portion sizes. Controlling portion sizes is a big thing. In our country, our sizes are just absolutely out of control. So here's a quick little guide to portion sizes. And there's just a couple that I want to cover, and I have a link in the show notes. If you'd like to see this, I've got a link there so you can actually take this later. But here's a couple good things to remember. When it comes to rice or pastas, if you close your fist, a fist size, that's a cup. Now, most cases, we are getting 2 cups. If you look at your palm, a serving the size of your palm, both the shape as well as the thickness of your palm, that's the size of meat or chicken or fish or turkey, whatever you want to have. That's a single size serving. If we're going out to restaurants, most of the chicken breasts, even if we're eating chicken or turkey or what we consider healthier white meats, those serving sizes are so much larger. Let's talk about snacks. Chips, popcorns, and pretzels. Those are the 2 handfuls. So cup your hands and actually look at the little cup, the little tiny cup. Those are 2 handfuls. So portion sizes that was one of the ways when I was losing weight, that was the biggest change for me, was portion sizing, is doing things smaller. You can indulge, but you can't have everything in the quantity that you want. So if you see a dessert or a sweet or you want some of those appetizers, great, have them. We don't want to feel deprived, and part of being around people is having food and enjoying it. But make sure that you're controlling your portion size. And next, so those are our eating out. What you want to make sure you do is research it, look at the internet, ask for different changes to the menu so that you can be accommodated and get something a little bit more healthy. If you've been invited to a potluck, do your hostess a favor. Ask her if you can bring something along. Make sure with the buffet you get that whole picture, that you see everything that's on the buffet before you start making choices. Skip those appetizers and watch the liquid calories, but if you're going to do those, control your portion sizes. There's nothing wrong with, instead of having a grande, have a smaller size at Starbucks, or have a kid size hot chocolate. If you like hot chocolate, have a child size. Once in a while, I will stop at Baskin Robbins. My sister can attest to this. I will stop at Baskin Robbins. I love, love, love the chocolate peanut butter ice cream. When I'm there, I have a child's size cone. I don't even have the regular scoop. That way I enjoy it, and I'm not splurging and eating all those calories. So those are some strategies for you. Do you think that these are the sort of thing that you could apply to the next time you go out and maybe save yourself a few calories? If you do, give me a little thumbs up. If you got any questions, remember, just go ahead and put a question in front of it. Even if you're seeing this on a replay, go ahead and put the question in there, because I go back and I look at the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer that. All right, so now we've talked about replanning, we've talked about eating out. We want to get into the office, and boy, I got to tell you, that just used to be the place for me. Now, every office has one of these lovely, lovely ladies or gentlemen. This just happens to be a gal that I picked, and she's got a great smile, she's fun to talk to, and she has a desk full of candy. And Lord knows, if she finds out what your favorite candy is, I guarantee you within a week or so, your favorite candy is going to be inside that bowl. It's tough, especially during the holidays, to have food around the office. So here's a couple of strategies to deal with that. When you have got somebody who you know their desk is just loaded with it, avoid the scene of the crime. Do not go there. How can you walk around that person to get where you're going? What direction do you have to go? And it might be a really nice person who you love hanging out with and spending time with. Maybe what you could do, instead of going to their desk where it's just loaded with sweets and goodies and things that you're going to eat, maybe what you could do is ask them to be your walking partner at lunch. That way you get to spend time with that person, you get to go out and burn a few extra calories, and you don't eat the calories that are sitting on their desk. So if you have a person or an area, sometimes it's the break room. Maybe you need to go eat in your car, or there's a different place that you could eat for a while. Our break room used to always be so full of holiday chocolates and sweets. People would send them, right? Other companies would send them in as holiday gifts. And I don't know about you, but I would just like, oh, I need to try one of these. I've never tasted this. I've never tasted that. Tough to do. See if you can avoid the scene of the crime. Now, another alternative is there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way about what's going on in the office. Bring something healthy with you. And here are a couple of my favorite examples. The one on the top are zucchini chips. You can get a dehydrator at a Walmart or Kmart, Amazon, something like that. You can get a 5-tier dehydrator for about $20. All you need to do is cut up some zucchini. You cut them nice and thin. You put a little bit of sea salt on top of them. Turn on the dehydrator, and voila, you have an amazing, salty, tasty, wonderful snack that's not going to blow the calorie bank. Down below, you've got fruits and nuts and granolas. Again, you kind of got to watch the nuts and the granolas. Those can have a little bit higher calorie content, but those are still good for you. Over on the one side, we've got a hummus plate with some fresh veggies, and don't forget protein shakes. Those are really easy to make and take along with you, so don't forget the protein shakes, but bring those with you, because there are other people just like you who I know want to have something healthy. So bring that along with you. So those are the two strategies for you to deal with the office booby trap. Avoid the scene of the crime, make plans to get around it, and bring something healthy along with you to share. People are going to go ahead and people are going to absolutely love that. Okay, all right. We're going to bring it back down and we're going to talk about emotional eating. This is a time for many of us that's so difficult, right? We're oftentimes around people that we don't like, and we're in situations that we don't like. I don't know if anyone likes being at the mall time and time again, and just being hectic. And that's kind of what this, I wanted to, as I looked at these two pictures, it's being around people and just being hectic. So it can be situations or it can be people. There's a couple of ways that you can go ahead and that you can deal with it. It's the first question I like to ask myself is, do you really need to be there? Do you really have to be in that situation? And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is, well, if I'm going shopping after work, I need to make sure that I have something with me, that I have food with me, that I eat before I go to the mall, something like that. So make sure that you're doing a little bit of pre-planning. If you don't really need to be there, avoid it. Just don't go. But pre-plan and just saying, I'm going to find a way to deal with it, that is not a way to pre-plan. That's not the way to go ahead and do it. So write down and do a little bit of a plan. If you know you're going to be somewhere or someplace that's stressful, can you get a workout in? Is that something that's doable? Can you get that workout and make that workout part of your day? That's a big thing, working out and being able to go ahead and to release that stress. Plan for indulgences. It's going to happen. It's a stressful time of year. We are going to overeat. That is kind of the way it is. That is just life. Make sure that you plan for your indulgences, and you will have, you're going to feel better by planning for your indulgences and having a how do I want to say it? Just plan. I guess that's how I want to say it. Just make a plan. And then the other thing is, when you're not in those stressful situations, go ahead and eat healthy. That's having the meal box. Those are the strategies that we already talked about in terms of eating for the holidays. So there we have got it. Make that plan. Eat healthy away from there. Get a good workout in. Get sweating. Feel good. Those are the ways that you can combat your emotional eating. And you know what? We are all going to emotionally eat. It's going to happen to us during the holidays. Don't worry about it. Put down the stick. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's okay. It definitely is going to happen during the holidays. So those are the 4 things. Those are the 4 almost magical secrets to avoid holiday weight gain. Is adjust your goals. Use some of those strategies I gave you for eating out. Avoid that office booby trap, and then look at your emotional eating. I've got some great resources, and I think a few of them I forgot to mention. I know I've got the group on. I've got a couple other resources. Make sure you take a look down in the show notes. I will put those down there. But I also wanted to remind you that if you hear, whoops, wrong one. Sometimes that happens. Right here we go. Is Hijack Holiday Weight Gain. It is just one of the best things that I've ever put together. I'm really proud of this piece because there's so many tips and strategies to help you stay healthy over the holidays. That's free. It's free to you. Just go on over to agewellwithcj.com and you're going to put in the / HHWG, Hijack Holiday Weight Gain. Just in case you missed the first in this series, last week I talked about traveling and maintaining healthy habits while you travel, because we're going to travel over the holidays. Tonight, obviously, we've talked about all these strategies for eating healthy. Next week, we're going to talk about workout strategies. So make sure you join me back here next Tuesday night. The 28th, I think, the 28th of November, the last Tuesday of November. In the meantime, have a very happy and healthy holiday. Make sure if you have any questions that come up after this, I'd be happy to answer them. Put a question in the question marks down below, and I will check back. But up until next week, we'll see you all later.